Welcome to our video lesson on multiplying mixed numbers. We're going to talk about how to multiply two mixed numbers. You have your foldable from when we talked about multiplying numbers. You should write these steps right here in your foldable underneath multiplying mixed numbers. Take the time now, pause the video, and write down the steps. Welcome back. Now you're going to write down this example in your foldable. So you should have your steps and this example written down. For our first problem, our first step is to convert our fractions into improper fractions. Well, we've done that before. To do that, you take the whole number out front and you multiply it by the denominator, and then you add the numerator to it. So take the whole number times the denominator plus the numerator. So 7 times 3 plus 1. 7 times 3 gives 21, plus 1 is 22. So we have 22 over 3 times 3 times 4 gives 12. Plus 3 is 15 over 4. Our next step is to cross simplify. We haven't seen anything like this before. What that means is to take, we're going to look at these two numbers that are across from each other. Do they have a greatest common factor that we could divide out of them? Let's check. To find the GCF, I'm going to write down both 3 and 15 and write down all the factors of both. So the factors of 3 are 1 and 3. The factors of 15 are 1, 3, 5, and 15. So their greatest common factor is 3. So to simplify, I'm going to divide both the 15 and the 3 by 3. So our next line will say 22 over 3 divided by 3, which is 1, times 15 divided by 3, which is 5. Now we're going to do it with the other side. So I'm just going to erase this to give me some space. We're going to do the same thing with 22 and 4. So right now, first we have to find their greatest common factor. So I'm going to write down all the factors of 4 and 22. The factors of 4 are 1, 2, and 4. The factors of 2 are 1, 2, 11, and 22. So our greatest common factor is 2. So we're going to divide both the 22 and the 4 by 2. The reason we're doing this is because when you're using mixed numbers, you can get really, really big numbers after you multiply them together, and it can be really hard to simplify it back down. But if you simplify it right now before you multiply, you'll get a smaller answer. It'll be easier to work with. Also, we cross simplify, so we do the 3 and the 15 and the 4 and the 22 because you can't really simplify 15 and 4 and 22 and 3, but you can simplify across. 22, we're going to divide them both by 2, so 22, and we're going to divide by 2. So we have 11 over 1 times 5, and then 4 divided by 2 gives 2. So now we've done step 1 and step 2. Now we're going to multiply, I'm going to erase this so I have some space again. We're going to multiply the numerators, then multiply the denominators, and then simplify. It's just like multiplying other fractions. So let's multiply the numerators. 11 times 5 gives 55. And that. Multiply the denominators. 1 times 2 gives 2. Okay, now we need to simplify. We need to take 55 and divide it by 2. Well, 2 times 2 gives 4. Subtraction, get 1, bring down the 5. 2 goes into 15 7 times. 2 times 7 is 14. Subtraction, remainder of 1. So I have 27, remainder 1. So this equals 27 and 1/2. And that's it. We're going to do another example next. It's a word problem, so you can see how to break down the word problem. If you need to, pause or rewind and go back and watch this example again. Now we're going to move on. Okay. Miss Fortune can ski 3.5 miles in an hour. Mr. Manaseski can ski 1 1/3 times farther than Miss Fortune in an hour. How far can Mr. Manaseski ski in 1 hour? To do this problem, I'm going to take how far I can ski, which is 3.5 miles. And if Mr. Manaseski can ski 1 1/3 times farther than me in an hour, I'm going to multiply my 3.5 times 1 1/3. That will give me how far Mr. Manaseski can ski in an hour. So now I'm going to follow my steps again. You can have your foldable out beside us so you can see the steps as we go through. The first step is to convert them into improper fractions. So to do that, I take the whole number times the denominator plus the numerator. 3 times 2 is 6, plus 1 is 7/2, times 1 times 3 is 3, plus 1 is 4/3. Our next step is to cross simplify. To do that, I'm going to circle the two numbers that we're going to focus on. Let's focus on the 4 and the 2. And we need to find the greatest common factor of the 2 and the 4. I'm going to write out the factors of both. So for 2, it's 1 and 2. And for 4, it's 1, 2, and 4. So their greatest common factor is 2. Now we're going to divide both the 4 and the 2 by 2. So we have 7 divided by, or 7 and 2 divided by 2 gives 1, times 4 divided by 2 gives 2 divided by, all over 3. Now we look at the other one. 7 and 3. And think if they have any greatest common factors. Let's check. Factors of 3 are 1 and 3. And the factors of 7 are 1 and 7. So their greatest common factor is 1. They're actually both prime numbers because they're only multiplied by 1 in itself. So we can't simplify them at all. So now we multiply the numerators and then multiply the denominators together. And write it again up here so that I have a little bit more space. 1 times 3. We know 7 times 2 equals 14 over 1 times 3, which is 3. Now our last step is to simplify. So we need to take 14 and divide it by 3. 3 can't go into 1, but 3 can go into 14. It goes in 4 times. 4 times 3 gives 12. So we have 4 with a remainder of 2. We write that as a fraction with 4 wholes, because 3 goes into 14 4 whole times, with 2/3. Now I'm not done yet. It's a word problem, so you need to give a word answer. So I'm going to write Mr. M can ski, oh, my writing's terrible, 4 2/3, can't fit, that's a 3, miles, and then ideally I'd also write in 1 hour, but that will do for now. If you 100% understand this, you don't want to see another example, you're bored, stop the video, go on to your homework. If you have at all any doubts, please keep watching. I'm going to do one more example. We are going to multiply together 2 2/3 times 4 1/2. Again, I have our steps written here so we can follow along. Our first step is to convert them both into improper fractions. To do that, we take the whole number, which is the number up front, times the denominator, and then add the numerator. So we have 2 times 3 plus 2. 2 times 3 is 6, plus 2 is 8. So we have 8 over 3. The next one. Take 4 times 2 is 8, plus 1 is 9 over 2. Now we're going to cross simplify. So I'm going to again circle the two that we're going to look at. Let's look at those two first. The factors of 3 and 9. The factors of 3 are 1 and 3. It's prime. The factors of 9 are 1, 3, and 9. So they do have a greatest common factor of 3. So our next step is to write them out where we divide both the 9 and the 3 by their GCF of 3. So we get 8, and then 3 divided by 3 gives 1, and 9 divided by 3 is 3. Now we're going to do the same thing, but with the other side. Here. You hear my neighbor's dog barking in the background. We have, oh, I changed the color. Okay, we have 8 and 2. So let's take, oh, I didn't do that right. 2 and 8. We have 1 and 2. 2 is prime as well. We have 8, which is 1, 2, 4, and 8. Their greatest common factor is 2. So we're going to divide both of them by 2. Our next line will say 8 divided by 2 is 4 over 1 times 3, and then we divide 2 by 2 to get 1. And then we can multiply it. 4 times 3, oh sorry, I should check these off, we've done that. Now we're going to multiply the numerators. 4 times 3 is 12 over 1. And we need to simplify it. Well, this fraction really means what's 12 divided by 1? If you're not sure, you can do it on the side here. 1 goes into 1 once, 1 goes into 2 twice. So, 1 times 1 is 1, subtract, we get 0, bring down the 2. 1 goes into 2 twice, and then 2 times 1 is 2, subtract, we get 0. So our answer, our final answer is 12. I'm going to circle it here. And we're done. I'm glad that you watched the whole way through. Now it's time to start working on your homework. If you have any questions, please ask me.